What's going on, Falcons fans? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here with 5 trade targets for the Atlanta Falcons coming via CBS Sports. We're going to break down all of their trade targets and who Atlanta might be pursuing as we get closer to the NFL draft. But before we do, help grow the channel by sharing today's video. Click the share button, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter. You can tag me at Matthew Petey if you'd like. And hey, we give shout outs to those of you that share our video. So help get more eyeballs on the channel by sharing it to a friend, to a family member, or onto Twitter itself. Now, the first trade target is everyone's favorite, Lamar Jackson. I'm actually going to come at you guys, for those of you that watch our videos pretty routinely, with a different perspective / take on Lamar Jackson. Now, the reason why we're talking about him is because CBS Sports had Lamar Jackson as a trade the Falcons as a trade destination for Lamar Jackson. Here's what writer Cody Benjamin said. No matter their mutual attraction from months past, Jackson and the Ravens are on shaky ground as the QB navigates free agency under the non-exclusive franchise tag. It's possible Baltimore could let the former MVP walk if another team actually makes Jackson an offer, receiving 2 first-rounders in return. But it's perhaps even more likely the Ravens would seek to move Jackson via a traditional trade. In that case, offers would likely begin at 2 first-rounders. Now, in CBS Sports write-up, here were the landing spots for Lamar. Indianapolis, which kind of makes sense, Atlanta, Detroit, and Tennessee. So, all 4, minus Detroit a little bit, because I do think they like Jared Goff a lot, and they don't want to give up 2 first-round picks, and they feel like they're building something, but that's for our Lions YouTube channel. I think all these 4 spots do make sense for Lamar, as do a lot of other places, like Washington or Vegas. They didn't have Jimmy G. Now, the new twist here is Arthur Blank. Does he hate Lamar? Hate's a strong word, but we might bring out the H word here. So, Falcons owner Arthur Blank basically shut down any Lamar Jackson rumors or potential coming to ATL. Here's what Arthur said. There's no question Lamar Jackson is one of the top QBs in the league. Looking at it objectively, there is some concern about whether or not he can play his style of game for how long that can last. Hopefully a long time, but he's missed 5-6 games each of the last 2 years. It seems like there won't be a chance, and I know that's going to bring a lot of you to the streets to celebrate, because I've long stated I think Lamar to Atlanta would be good for the Falcons, but give me 30 seconds, because I have read all the comments of videos regarding Lamar, and I've taken in a lot of what you guys have said into consideration, and I'm still in the belief of the Falcons are better with Lamar, but I will slide a little bit closer to the middle and say that I can see why people would have skepticism over giving up 2 firsts, at least, if there's a trade, would be more, a huge contract to a player that has missed time the last 2 seasons at key points in the season, and I think we can agree objectively has not been as good since his MVP season. I still think the Falcons would be wise or smart to pick up Lamar because he is a very good quarterback, but if you are against giving out a big contract and giving up picks for a quarterback that has missed 5 games the last 2 years and has not been his MVP self since winning the MVP to the fullest level, I don't think you're crazy for that take. How about that? But be honest with me. Are you happy the Falcons will not be trading for Lamar Jackson? It appears this is the pinned comment, so if YouTube sticks an ad break when I'm done talking, use that to your advantage and give me a yes or no down below. Trade target number 2, Derrick Henry. Could we get another Falcons-Titans trade? This time it's someone from Nashville coming down to Atlanta. Well, here's what Benjamin wrote up in this idea for the Falcons. Whenever he's on the field, Henry carries Tennessee's offense. To this day, no one matches his combo of size, 6'3", 245 pounds, speed, and experience at the position. But he's topped 300 carries in 3 of his last 4 seasons, suffering a serious injury in between. In other words, the wear and tear is there. The Titans are in a rebuilding phase, or at least they should be, and can save $6.3 million by dealing the big man who's entering a contract year. Here were the 3 landing spots that CBS had for Derrick Henry. Buffalo, which would be unfair, let's be real. Atlanta, which maybe they should do it just to spare the rest of the NFL, or Seattle, which, what are you talking about, Cody Benjamin? I mean, Seattle just got Kenneth Walker last year, and he was great in his rookie season. Why stop him from maturing and growing as a player? I don't get that one. Now, we know Derrick Henry is the king, right? Tractor Cito is awesome, right? Even in a year where he played 8 games, he was still very close to getting 1,000 yards casually. For every other running back, 1,000 yards is a very important milestone to reach. Henry nearly did it in 8 games back in 2021. So, does it make a lot of sense for Atlanta? To be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think they're Derrick Henry away from doing much. And I like Tyler Algier. So, I'd rather see the young BYU running back get some more lane to run, right? Some more space instead of stunting his growth with Derrick Henry for one season, and then he's a free agent, and I don't know if he'd come back, but a good chance he might not. Another running back that CBS had linked to the Falcons, Austin Ekeler. Okay, so the Chargers running back was looking for a contract extension / he just wanted more money, right? Since his last deal, that's not uncommon for running backs, and they could not come to terms on it, and so then it was like, you know what? Maybe a trade actually is in the works here. Here was what Benjamin had to say about Ekeler going to Atlanta possibly. Similar to Christian McCaffrey, with his reliable high-volume pass catching, he's quite underpaid at $6.125 million per year, 13th among running backs, entering a contract year. The Chargers could gain $6.25 million in savings should they deal him to a contender, however, and address the position with a handful of cheaper gambles here. Eckler's landing spots were the Eagles, which I think makes a ton of sense. The Falcons, once again. Benjamin just is a diehard closet Falcons fan, I think. He just wants everyone going to Atlanta. And then the New York Jets, which, if they get Rodgers, well, they got Breece Hall coming back. So once again, like Benjamin, what are we drinking when we're doing this stuff here? I don't get some of these destinations. But if you compare Henry to Austin Ekeler from last season, I mean, Austin Ekeler quietly had 18 touchdowns, and he added a lot more through the air as well, more than just 915 rushing yards, receiving yards, more than just 915 total yards with 722 receiving yards. Both of these guys are phenomenal running backs, but once again, I sort of come to the point of the conversation where I ask, is Atlanta a veteran running back away from being a contender? If the answer is no, I don't think it's worth giving up a draft pick for a player if you don't think that's going to push this team over the edge, right? Are they Derrick Henry or Austin Ekeler away from winning playoff games? If you think not, I'm passing. But if you think so, then yeah, maybe giving up a day 3 pick would be worth it. I think they might cost hard to say what the running back value is for these two players. But pick a running back for me. Would you rather have Ekeler or Derrick Henry? They're very different styles of running back. Henry is a better running back objectively. He's going to go down as one of the best running backs of all time. But Ekeler is a great receiving back, and he adds a little bit of a spunk and chaos to your offense. So if Henry, kind of falls off a cliff, it won't be a shocker with his usage lately, where I feel like Ekeler could maybe plateau and ride out for a little bit longer. Now, make sure you are subscribed to the channel for all Falcons rumors. We keep you guys covered. When CBS puts out articles, or ESPN or PFF, whoever it may be, with players linked to the Falcons, we round all that up and we get it out to you guys in a 15-minute video. So subscribe and help us reach 11,000 subs, 54 away. Be the one that pushes us over that milestone. Our fourth trade target is Montez Sweat, edge rusher for the Washington Commanders. They just gave a lot of money to Daron Payne. They have Jonathan Allen. I don't know what they're going to do with Chase Young because it's a little odd that they haven't picked up the 5th-year option, or they might not pick up the 5th-year option. But here's what Cody Benjamin said. In an ideal world, Sweat would build on a promising pass rushing resume to earn a mega extension in Washington. But the Commanders are already paying top dollar to fellow D linemen Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, and Chase Young is also on board. With 29 sacks in 5 seasons and a career-high 28 QB hits in 2022, he could fetch premium compensation, potentially for a future QB splash. Even entering a contract year, his departure would also save Washington an immediate $11.5 million. Now, here are Sweat's landing spots. I'll let you read them. I just want to verbalize this note. Benjamin keeps bringing up potential cash savings. We're past free agency. Teams are not looking to save money because there's no one to spend it on anymore. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Chicago, that makes a ton of sense. They had the worst pass rushing unit. The Chiefs on there as well. But Montez Sweat in his career for the Commanders, he has been very reliable outside of missing some games in 2021. And he's been very productive. 7 sacks, 9 sacks, even 5 sacks in 10 games. And then 8 sacks last year as a team that does sacking the quarterback by committee. To get close to 10, I mean, the Falcons couldn't dream of having anyone like that since Vic Beasley. Now, where would Sweat slot in? Not quite sure if they'd use him as a defense, like a 5 technique, right? Or if they wanted to line him up an outside linebacker. With signing Caden Ellis and Lorenzo Carter, I think that signals they're somewhat content with their current makeup of the pass rushers from the outside. I wouldn't be. I'd like to see a little bit more, talent at that spot, to put it lightly. But sign me up for adding more pass rushers, right? This has been the drum that we have been beating here at the channel. More. You cannot overdo it in terms of pass rushers this offseason or any offseason, really. So if Sweat can get you a second, would you rather have Montez Sweat or B.J. Ojulari, who ESPN had mocked going to Atlanta in their most recent mock draft? I'll take Montez Sweat. I know it's fun to keep your second-round picks and get a good player for cheap on a rookie deal, but go look at some previous second-round picks. They're not always contributors or even around for a second contract. 5th and final trade target from CBS Sports, Quez Watkins, wide receiver, Philly. I'm sorry, Quez. It's just not as fun as the other 4 names. So, yeah, you can add some more speed. I'm going to pass on Watkins, right? After the Miller signing, is Scotty Miller better than Quez Watkins? No, but is Quez Watkins so much better that you have to give up a draft pick to get him? I don't think so. I'd rather just go draft a wide receiver instead and see what he can do. Watkins in his career over 3 seasons for the Eagles, 2021, 647 yards and 1 touchdown. He's never really had a huge ceiling, so I'd rather hold on to the draft pick than throw it at a guy who had 354 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for adding more wide receivers, but give me one in the 2nd or 3rd round rather than giving up what would be probably just a 2024 7th-round pick for a wide receiver who might be like Edwards last year that doesn't really make much of a contribution to the team at all. So who is your favorite trade target? Is it one of the 5 guys that CBS Sports had linked to Atlanta? Is it someone else we didn't talk about? Let me know in the comments section. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Enjoy the remainder of your weekend. We will catch up later as we get more Falcons news and rumors.